If you are someone who easily gets emotionally and mentally drained when you're out socializing, and especially when you're out meeting women, this is the video for you. People say that introverts naturally lose energy when they're socializing and extroverts naturally gain energy. And that some people are just naturally introverted and some people are naturally extroverted. But I ain't so sure that's true. I think that just people who describe themselves as introverted, they're just engaging in these behaviors which socially and emotionally and mentally drain them. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna explain 4 types of social fatigue, how they happen and how to avoid them. Let's go. First one is really obvious. It's physical fatigue. If you're physically tired, if you're emotionally drained, that's gonna make you not want to socialize as much. Right? So work on your diet, get a healthy diet, get plenty of sleep, do lots of exercise, lots of cardio. All right? Avoid the carbs, and because the carbs get you in this like sleepy state. Okay, there are millions of YouTube videos on this. Go watch them, get it done. But I want to concentrate on the other 3 because these are 3 social fatigues which a lot of people don't know about. So what are they? Well, the first one I want to talk about is decision fatigue. When you're constantly thinking, should I, shouldn't I, what should I do? This emotionally and mentally drains you. All right? So in the context of like socializing and meeting women, you're thinking, should I approach, should I not? So how do we avoid this? As soon as you see someone that you want to speak to, you use the 5-second rule, count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go. No excuses, just go. And then calibrate after the fact. People avoid doing this because they're like, what if this happens? But what if she is this? What if they say go away? All right? But you don't know that's going to happen. So you're better off just going and finding out than calibrating. And that will help erase so much like mental and emotional fatigue. The next one is persona fatigue. When you're putting on like a fake character, a fake persona that you think a girl is going to like more, this is difficult. This makes you have to think more, and it's also just emotionally draining. You can avoid this by the classic dating advice: just be yourself. All right, we spoke about this in lots of videos, that if you're just unapologetically yourself and you own it, people fall into your frame. Girls love it. Just do that. It's a lot less emotionally draining. And the final one is judgment fatigue. All right, this is where you're constantly judging yourself. How did that interaction go? Did that person like me? Should I have done this? When you're actually out and about and socializing, every interaction is a 10 out of 10 in your mind. Because who else would have the balls to cold approach a hot girl? Not many people, right? Everything's a 10 out of 10. Then, obviously, once the night out or the day out is finished, you can, like, take a deeper look at it and what you could have done better. But when you're out and about, everything's a 10 out of 10. And that's gonna really, really help you not feel so emotionally drained. This is important, all right? Because the more people you go and speak to, the more girls you try and hit up, the quicker you're going to improve and get better at this, all right? So you want to be speaking to as many people as possible on every night and day out you go to, if you're serious about improving your social skills. Now, we're going to jump into a video. It's a clip from our Sunday Zoom calls, which we do every Sunday at 6 p.m. British Summer Time. And someone asked a question which kind of relates to this topic. Kieran dives into what's going on with him. He finds himself very emotionally drained when he goes on nights out. Kieran speaks to him, really dives into the core of what the problem is. Okay, if you like this clip, go to gameglobal.net/Zoom, all right, and register for the next Sunday Zoom call. When you do, you'll get an email just before we go live to remind you that we're going live, and you also get a replay of the call if you can't make it. So you definitely want to do that. gameglobal.net/Zoom. And with that said, let's dive into the clip.
Yeah, I got a question. More like a discussion. I just thought of it. I just wanted to open it up a little bit. It's for anybody to answer, really. So sometimes you go out, and sometimes you have good times, stuff like that. And sometimes you meet people, and you have good times with people, but other times you're just not on. You're just not on. There's like times where somebody will meet me and then they have the most fun time with me ever, and just like you can't keep that up every time. I wonder, how do you guys deal with that? How do you guys like account for like fatigue? I guess you could say social fatigue. I find myself being socially fatigued a lot. Like sometimes you'll meet me out and it'll be like my wing, he tells me he says like the way I interact with people at a bar is just like something magical, but it's like that's not everyday CJ. That's not everyday Cordell. It's not 100% of the time. So how do you guys account for that and deal with that shit?
Well, when you're in the bar and you're interacting with a woman and it's magical, are you expressing yourself or are you being what you think she wants to see?
Yeah, just expressing myself. Usually it's just kind of, it's a little bit, sometimes it can be a little bit to the point to be like, okay, just moving, getting socially warm or something like that. But genuinely, it's always just like, okay, I'm just, being social, and it just comes naturally. Nothing forced, nothing strained, just being me. Not with any outcome in mind, but yeah.
So you're saying that you find it hard to keep up being social in general. Would you say you're like naturally an introvert or something like that?
Yeah, I'd say I'm naturally an introvert. I would say that it's hard to keep it up some of the times. It's like, okay, maybe if there's like, I don't know, if I don't know, sometimes it's just fatiguing sometimes. Sometimes it'll just be like, oh, you'll be fine for a while, but then after a while, just be like, I'm bored right now. I just want to go, something like that. I don't know. But you still want to keep it up because, like, sundress season is in effect. So, yeah. Oh, sure.
So define fatiguing then. Is it fatiguing in the sense that, because you just said I'm bored right now. So is it
Uh,
that you're bored of talking to the girl? Or is
uh,
it that you
bored up.
don't have it in you to
Okay,
socialize?
I guess I have to redact something that I guess I have to redact the premise that I said before. I guess it's not completely contrived. So it's sometimes it is kind of like forcing yourself to just be out there and be social and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I see the purpose in doing this, and I see, and I normally do, and I, at a certain point, there's like this, diminishing marginal utility effect coming in, and it's like you get fatigued, and you're like, I don't really feel like doing this right now anymore. So it's like, I don't know.
How
Do you get that?
often does that feeling start to happen?
It creeps in. It creeps in. I don't know, like an hour, 5, 6, sometimes something like that. Somewhere around like 5, 6 hours in, or something like that. If you were to gauge a night in a time interval.
Hmm. So you're right. You're with your wings. You're having fun, at least trying
Mm,
to. And then at 5 or 6 hours in, you start to get some sort of fatigue.
yeah, or a better understanding of it would be like, sometimes you can be. Well, sometimes it could be 5, 6 hours in, and everything's fine, but it was like, okay, we gonna get up and do the same shit tomorrow. Oh no, oh no, we ain't doing the same shit tomorrow. Nah, bro, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna sit inside and smoke weed and watch Avatar. I'm mentally fatigued right now. I can't do it.
All right. So firstly, what I said before about having a strong list of reasons why that will actually help. But
Mm,
secondly, I'll be very curious to see what it is that you're doing on the night out, because it sounds like you're using, you're basically, this is what I'm hearing anyway, this is
mm,
what I'm imagining. There's you as you are, but then there's you in the club. And you in the
mm,
club isn't you as you are.
hmm,
So I think that when you're in the club, you're being Mr. Club Cordell
mm,
rather than Mr. Watches Avatar Cordell. For instance, when you're in
yeah,
a club, do you talk to girls about Avatar?
nah,
There we
but
go. So
that's not
what are you talking to girls about in clubs?
just really anything that just strikes
But
me.
it's not anything if you're not talking about Avatar, is it? So there's a
Yeah.
list
I
that.
mean, but I'm interested in really everything. I'm really interested in everything in life, but
But
it's
are you talking about things that you're interested in though? This is my point.
yeah, Yeah, usually I'm
My
talking about things that,
fundamental point
or I'm
is,
really just, or really mostly it's really just piss taking. It's really just piss taking, like just saying whatever and just having fun with it, you know, seeing if I could get a laugh out of myself really more than her.
hmm,
Yeah,
I'll tell you
but
one
at a
thing that
certain
would
point,
really help, and that is
yeah,
just to lower your expectations. Like one of the
yeah,
first things you said when you chimed in was how you really wanted to be like on and on fire and have people like really loving you all the time,
yeah,
and that can be really tiring as well.
yeah.
Um,
That's how, yeah,
like Kieran said before, like putting on like a persona is like it's called persona fatigue, but also like when
yeah,
you're judging, oh, like is this good enough game? Is this good enough game?
mm,
Did she like me? That can be really tiring as well. So,
yeah,
but I'll tell you what isn't tiring. If you just
yeah,
open just for the sake of it with no expectations, you just do it
yeah,
just because, and you're not thinking about I have to do 50 opens tomorrow. You're not thinking
yeah,
about I hope this is the one that hooks. You just
yeah,
do it,
yeah,
you see what
and
I
then you
was,
just do it
what I
again
was
and
going to say
again.
to you is, when you reach a point where you get absolutely tired and drained, just chill out for 10 minutes.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I get
yeah,
that.
seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you
It's
guys
like, it's
get it a
no
little
deep,
bit.
like, sit.
You guys, I get it a little bit. It's not like there isn't a club persona, because I do like going out, I do like going to clubs, I do like partying and shit like that, but it does drain. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying. You maybe just need to like step back for a little bit, just need to not be so outcome dependent. Yeah, those things, those are the things that are like fundamental that you sometimes just forget, you know.
Well,
And
something I'll say is, you said like at the 5 hour mark, and it's like,
yeah,
so if I take that at face value, then that means that you're in the
mm,
game face, son.
mm,
Like freaking Michael Jordan in game 7 or something like that. Like, this is serious business.
yeah.
That just sounds exhausting.
Nah, it's not
Right.
okay. It's
Because
okay.
if I'm in a club,
Maybe I'm not expressing myself right, because it's not really like that. It's more kind of like, okay, it's more, you know, things happen, things go on, and things go off. We interact with people, or we don't. We just interact with each other. It's just like I try not to force it so much. I don't know. I think I'm like muddling my words. I think I'm not expressing myself properly, but whatever.
so you feel like you reach a point where you're not trying to meet women the way that you were before. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, I think that might be a little bit more accurate. Yeah.
It'd
I've
be
been there for
interesting to
sure.
have a. Yeah, go on, Joe.
For sure, in London especially, it sounds like you're from England. The
Nope.
classic,
From New York.
oh, okay, well, I'm
He
bad
sounded English to you.
at
How the
With a
hell did he
fucking,
sound
okay.
English to you?
bruh, that
Well,
ass.
in
How do I sound? How do I
Joe, you've been
name
away from the UK for too long if you think this guy's English. Jesus.
okay, well,
Oh, that's
in London
ridiculous.
especially, like the pickup guys especially, they get to the club at like 9 p.m. and they're doing their fucking warm-up sets, right? And then the clubs in London, they used to close at like 3, 4 a.m., right?
Oof.
So it's totally normal. If you're starting off at 9 p.m. and you're going hard, like, I want to fucking number close this bitch who's still eating her dinner. And then you just go that hard for like 5, 6 hours. Then when it really matters, when it's time to pull that bitch at 2, 3 o'clock a.m. and you're exhausted. Where as if like what you should be doing on the first couple of hours, if it's like super early in the club, you just chill, you're just having fun, you're just building up your own state and your wingman state as well.
Yeah.
And just not caring, again, like I said, not caring about the outcome. And then that actually just builds you just care about fun. All you care about is fun. And like for sure that really helps to for you to still be like fresh when it comes to like the end of the night, and that's when it's most important, for sure.
Yeah,
That's how it works for
Cordell.
me anyway, and for other extroverts. But I've seen it work for all sorts of guys who had approach anxiety, but then they just did their little like warm up approaches, and then just built up. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Cool, man.
So, yeah, it'd be interesting to have a chat with you privately, though, about this, because this is actually quite interesting. But with that, what I'd like to say is, if you guys have anything that you would like some, let's say, like one-to-one assistance with, anything that's going on with your your dating, your romantic, your sexual life, etc., then feel free to book in a chat with me. I think Joe's going to post a link on the screen, calendly.com/Kieran Callan. We can have a good talk about your situation and maybe put together a game plan, a roadmap of how we can work together to solve your issue if we decide that working together is a good fit.
Yeah.
That has been it, though, for today's call. We're going to be back here next week, every Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, and I'm not sure what it is in other time zones. But thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.